Hello Leo, welcome back to my channel if you're a returning subscriber. If you're new to the channel, thank you for coming. I hope you enjoy the reading. This is a general reading, so aspects of it may apply to you, but it could also apply to somebody else that you're close to at this time. I work with the 12 houses of the zodiac, the associated astrological guidance, and then the goddess guidance cards, and then the destiny cards. If you would like a private reading, then please go to my website. The link is in the description box below. And on the website, you'll find all the information you need, and then we can get in contact and I can do a reading for you. Okay, let's start with houses for this coming month. I pull out three normally, 3 areas of interest for you, and then we go from there. Okay, so we have 6th house. This is the house of your work, your normal daily work routines, also your simple daily routines, but also health and diet, and it's also the house of pets. Okay, so we have the first card coming out. This is Neptune, sacrifice, coming out. The associated goddess card. Wants to come. Ishtar. Okay, so that goes very well with Neptune. Certainly it's about boundaries within this area of interest. So 6th house is always to do, as I said, usually with work routines, workplace, work colleagues, and so on. Any sort of projects that you're involved in, mastery of your craft, and so on. We've got Ishtar and boundaries, and Neptune is very much about putting boundaries in. So that is all going to apply now for you. And we've got, this will be the next house of interest for you. This will be the 12th house, which is opposite the 6th. So this is normally service to your own particular environment, your personal environment, and this is service work to others, or deep work within yourself. Okay, we have void of course moon, which is all about staying as you are at the moment. Don't take any bold actions or start anything new while the moon is in sort of a pause period. Okay, so we've got 2. We have Hathor, and then we have Nematona, sacred space. Bottom of the goddess deck is Mother Mary, expect a miracle. Hathor is about receptivity. So this can be about banishing negativity and only focusing on the positive. It can also involve children. And just being receptive in general, which is a very deep process within all of us. We all need to master the ability to be receptive. But I'll get to that once we get there. This will be the last house of interest for you now. We've actually got 2. So let's take the one top there, the first house. So you definitely need to retreat and withdraw and actually replenish your energy at this time. And then I'll use that as an additional. We've got 8th house coming in additional for you. Let's just do the last astrological guidance card now. Yes, revolution. And then the bottom of the astrological deck is Leo, I will. So a lovely card coming in there for you, and you've got to expect a miracle. Okay, so this card, the eighth house, is all about endings and beginnings, and it can be relationship based, partnership based, or it can also be financially based as well. But it's like a cycle ending and a new one beginning, or it can be the regeneration or the renewal of something. So it came in next to here, so I'm just going to leave that there. All right, so it looks to me like you need to clear your energy at the moment. Certainly, if you don't take steps to do it yourself, it's going to be done for you. But that will be much less pleasant than if you actually do this for yourself. I'll do the Destiny card reading at the end. So certainly you may be tackling various issues at the moment, which are possibly work-related. Sixth house is workplace, work routines, mastery of your craft, any sort of projects that you might be involved in, your actual work environment, everything to do with that. But it's also very much about health, diet, and well-being. And you've got the first house here coming in, which is all about your personal body, your actual body, yourself, your inner self and your outer self, your appearance, what you're projecting to others, your demeanor, how you're meeting the world at any one time, what you're aiming for, what you're trying to, push forward and meet the world, how you're going to meet the world at any point. It's also your personal hobbies and interests. So it certainly looks like the body and your health and your diet and all of that is up for review. Certainly with Neptune coming in, from a sixth house point of view, or from a health and diet and well-being point of view, this is about clearing toxicity, toxic chemicals, environments, people, negativity, people draining your energy, any situation that may be draining your energy. It could be your workplace as well. So anything around that, Neptune is about that. Neptune is also very much about taking the rose-tinted spectacles off. You can be under a serious disillusion or illusion with Neptune. So you could be under the illusion of something in your sixth house, the illusion that this is actually helping you, whatever the situation, or the people around you are actually helping you or assisting you, but in actual fact they are not. So be careful of deception with this card, scandals with this card. All kinds of things could be coming up from under the radar. So be careful scandals, be careful of gossip, be careful of getting involved in anything which is just not kosher. Rather take the high road, especially in a work environment. But from a health and diet, it can be about clearing toxicity from your life. So going the natural route, clear out the chemicals in your home, rejuvenate the energy in your home, do whatever you have to clear that out. And also, your friendships and your family situations, where you go, what you do, get into nature. Certainly going to the sea is going to be very beneficial for you. Any water body will be helpful. Sea salt baths, anything like that. It's also about addictions. The Neptune card is very much about addictions. So this can be addictions to anything. It's usually substances, but it can be addictions to drama, which can come in a work environment. It can be addictions to media, to any kind of activity which is basically toxic for you and is triggering you. So addiction to anything can come in with the Neptune card as well. On the positive side of it, the Neptune card can also be about connecting to the divine. So, but because you've got Ishtar boundaries here, I'm thinking that this is actually to do with you setting boundaries for your energy, for your time, for what you watch, the media that you're absorbing, the people you're talking to, the work that you're doing, the boundaries that need to be put in place here, because whatever is going on is not actually helping you at this time. And you really need to be very careful that you don't get pulled under into other people's complications or anything that is draining you, anything that appears, it could be deceptive. You could also be, on the other hand of it, you could also be under some kind of confusion, confusing circumstances, or you could be confusing the situation because you're not thinking clearly. So this is where the illusion and the disillusion comes in. You just not be thinking clearly at this time, and you need to actually clear your energy. Go to a water body, preferably the sea if you can, or take sea salt baths to cleanse your aura and to get clear, get grounded, because with Neptune you can be very ungrounded. And with Ishtar, she's saying boundaries, love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. So I feel that's a major theme for you. 12th house can lead on from that, because this deals with the inner self. Your deeper motivations, desires, emotions, everything to do with that. And there's some kind of pause that's going on, and so you may need to dig really deep at this time to go through your inner self, do some navigation, meditation, retreats, withdrawals, anything like that, to actually cleanse yourself and cleanse your aura. And certainly with 12th house, everything is about that. It's about pulling yourself back from whatever's going on in your life, to rebalance, to recenter yourself, to ground yourself, and so on, because you've also got Hathor here, which is saying being receptive. So you could have a deeper motivation where you give too much, and you're not balancing it with receiving. And being receptive is a feminine quality. Whether you're masculine or feminine makes no difference. It's a feminine quality, but being receptive balances giving. And when the two are balanced, then you have abundance. You've got void, of course, moon coming in here, which is saying that there's some sort of, you're going through a bit of a pause period. It might only be a period of about a week. It might be a little bit longer. Just see how the energy unfolds. But this is not a time to be launching something new, or undertaking some new action, or putting a lot of energy into something that you really don't want to manifest at this time. Just stay the course. Do not undertake any new actions or bold moves. Just stay as you are for now, and just be very light about everything. Retreat, dream, sleep, rest, recovery. That is what this period is about, and that is very much a 12th house thing. Rest, recovery, and doing whatever you need to do, the inner work. First house is everything to do with your physical body. As I said, it can be your appearance and how you look, your characteristics, personality, but it can also be very much about your actual physical body, your life force, your energy, your chi. So everything. So and you've got Nemantona here saying sacred space, create an altar with a visitor power place to connect with the divine. So certainly there's going to be some sort of shift going on, and you're going to need to just spend time, just retreat, withdraw, do contemplation, do whatever you can to get yourself into a place of neutrality and balance, and be able to see things clearly. Groundedness, all of that is coming in. It's going to be very important for you from a first house. Your physical body, your life force is perhaps taking a bit of a beating at this time. With solar eclipse revolution, that is certainly going to be the case. There's going to be some big shift that goes on, whether this is a physical thing, or it could be the way you are approaching your life at this moment. But there's certainly meditation and some deep inner work, and visiting powerful places, whether this is a place in nature, or it could be a church, or somewhere where power has been built up, but positive power. You can also create this environment in your home. You can have a place where you can, like an altar or some sort of sacred place, which is for you only. You can light your incense, your candles, do your crystals, whatever it is that you like to do. That is going to be required at the moment. You've got 8th house coming in, endings and beginnings, so there's some big shift coming in as well. So let's just do a quick go through here. 6th house, as I said, everything to do with your routines, work, where you work, what you're doing, your health and diet and well-being, and it is also the house of pets. Be very careful with Neptune that you don't get into some sort of addictive behavior, or mixing with the wrong crowd, going with the wrong crowd, going with the wrong sort of, taking the low road. Be very careful with scandal, gossip, everything to do with that, and protecting your energy. You may need to withdraw at this time. Your compassionate nature and caring nature may be taken advantage of at this time. Please do remove the rose-tinted spectacles, any sort of illusions that you might be under. Be very careful at this time, as I said, with your energy. But it is also very much about connecting with the divine. This can be enhancement of your imagination and your actual, psychic powers and so on. All of that comes in with Neptune as well. It can also be that there may be some sort of sacrifice that you need to make at this time for the greater good. And this, as I said, can play out, I would say it's probably in your work environment, but certainly it can be you need to cut out certain things out of your environment, whether it's health and diet and well-being, or whether it's work-related. You need to cut something out and just rebalance there, because something is draining your energy, and you need to just clarify your boundaries, reaffirm your boundaries, so that that is not happening. And be careful of confusion, because when you are confused and people are confusing, or there are confusing circumstances around you, and you feel a bit depleted, you start making the wrong decisions. You start thinking that people that are actually there to assist you or helping you, you start to get suspicious of them. So just cut out negativity, and be clear about who and what you want in your environment, and that will help you to see clearly. You need to see clearly, because otherwise you could get a bit confused and actually get caught up in something, and see somebody in the wrong light. Okay, so just be careful with that at this time. It's the card of self-undoing. So self-sabotage also comes in with this card. Be very careful with that you are not sabotaging yourself in some way. It could be a repetitive cycle at this time. With Ishtar, love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. So as I said, boundaries need to be put in, especially with Neptune around, and especially in the 6th house. Be very careful. Put your boundaries in place. You don't have to be, sort of horrible about it. It's just a firm boundary that people know how to treat you. They know that they cannot cross that boundary, and be very careful with that, and maintain it, and do it on a regular basis, because you could be in a time of transition, or some sort of mysterious circumstances going on around you, and things are just not clear right now. You may not have access to all the facts. Things could be looking a little bit confusing, or there could be some deception going on around you. Just be careful. Put your boundaries in place, and focus on positive things. Take the high road at this time. 12th house, as I said, is everything to do with addictions of all kinds, but it can also be the addiction to escaping, to running away. That can also be a situation. But I feel for you, it is actually about doing the inner work. 12th house is about your spiritual life, meditation, mysticism. It's also about healing. So you could be needing to get healing at this time. It's also about going on a retreat or a withdrawal, so solitude and reflection. So that is going to be needed at this time, because feelings could be bubbling up right now. Feelings that you may have suppressed in the past may be coming up at this time. It's the house of karma, karmic lessons, and spiritual debts come in with this. It's also the house of service work to others. So you may be in a profession which is serving others in some way, and there may be something going on in that house as well to do with that. But it's a very spiritual place. It's a very, very deep place. It rules your unconscious self. With the void of course moon, as I said, this is not a time to be launching anything new. If you have health matters, and with the 6th house coming up, if you have health matters which you are trying to deal with, whether that's addictions or whether it's some other, you could be having sort of toxicity issues. So you could be having rashes, and having sort of things displayed on your skin to show you that there's an imbalance somewhere in your health body. So something to do with that. This is not, while the void of course moon is in action, while it's going through that period, it's not a time to be launching medical tests and going for taking action extensively in whatever the endeavor is that you're trying to do, because the moon goes through a shadow phase where there's nothing happening. It's a pause period. Things may not be what they seem. And certainly with Neptune here, that is the case. Things are not what they seem. You may be under some kind of illusion, or there may just be confusing circumstances, or things are just not clear. So wait until this period has passed before you launch anything, whether it's medically related or seeking assistance on something, or doing, going to actually take action on something to solve or repair or fix or heal, anything like that. It could just be going for help to assist you with some deeper emotional issue that you may be grappling with. But certainly it's saying just while this period is about, just hold back until it has passed. With Hathor receptivity, allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. So it could be that you have a bit of a block about receiving. Certainly with the 12th house, this can be very much the case. This is some deep-seated programming that you have learnt, or that you have come into this lifetime with, where you have a block about receiving. So this can be, as I said, this when you have a block with regards to receiving, you block your feminine energy. You also block your abundance. Receiving and giving have to be in equal measure, and it's a mindset, and it's a practice that you have to do every day. You must be open to receiving, and this can be receiving as in compliments, assistance from others when help is offered. It can also be monetary. It can be ideas. It can be being receptive to the universe coming in to assist you in some way, bringing something to you which is necessary and profound, and you've got to be receptive to receive it, to actually anchor it down. It's all about that. Stay away from negative thinking and from naysayers and skeptics and so on. Rather focus on the positive side of things, but be receptive and be open to receiving any sort of assistance or any kind of compliment or anything good that's coming to you. Be open to receiving it and say thank you and be grateful for whatever is being offered to you at this time. This can also be to do with children. It can also be about children issues, whether this is conception or birthing, or it can also be to do with custody and adoption. Anything like that also comes in under this card as well. She is the mother principle. You can see the milk coming out there. So it's all about nurturing of yourself and being open to receive. Then we have the first house here. So as I said, everything to do with your physical body, externally and internally as well. It's your demeanor, what you're projecting to others, what they see when they see you, which can be changing, obviously, if you're going through a change. And certainly with solar eclipse revolution, that is definitely going to be the case. So this is, your physical body, your characteristics, your personality, your actual appearance. You could be undergoing something or wanting to change something, or it could just be that you're going through a profound shift within yourself, and that is going to affect what you're projecting to others. So they're going to notice a change in you. And some people don't react well when you are perceived to be changing. They don't react well at all because they're used to you being in a specific way with them. And when you change and start to grow, then it makes them uncomfortable. Quite often that is the case. So that can be happening. It could also be just your hobbies and interests, something that is close to your heart you're trying to push forward at this time. But it can also be, how you're meeting the world at this time, your independence and so on. At the bottom you have solar eclipse revolution. So this is saying that some kind of very swift, comprehensive change of course, or change of attitude, or change of situation is coming for you at this time. So this is normally a relationship base. It can also be a relocation. So you could be physically moving or contemplating a move at this time. And it's going to require some quiet time and contemplation and just going within at this time. And certainly with the void of course moon as well, this is about rest, recovery, dreams, planning, while you are in that pause period waiting to take action. And when the time comes, this is going to, either this will precipitate this period where some sort of shift comes in and then you've got to go through the planning phase before you initiate the change, or you may just be in a period of contemplation and actually be open to receiving a change and then it comes in for you. So Revolution, literally, that is what it is. It's a complete rearrangement of your world. So either a relocation or a physical change of some sort, because it's your first house. It can also be a relationship. So your relationships with others could be shifting and changing at this time. You could be losing connections with people because you're changing and growing, and they are going off on their own path. If they go, let them go. The ones that are supposed to be with you will be around you, and you will be able to maintain bonds with them. The ones that break the bonds or sort of quietly just disappear or leave your environment, your reality, let them go. So everything to do with that could be a bit of a shock, could be a bit of an upheaval here, but it can also be, this can also be a perception change. So this can be quite a big perception change. So this is like a sudden realization, a change of course, a change of life path, a real change in direction, but it comes with the realization of something that can come in. It could also be that you need to fix or change or create something. So the way you have been doing something previously now needs to undergo some sort of overhaul. And when you put all your attention on this, whatever it is that you want to initiate, then you bring your full power. This card will jolt you into the present moment, and that is the most powerful moment. That is where we create everything. You can't create from the past, you can't create from the future, you can only create from the present. So, and this card will certainly jolt you into the present, and then from there it's a very powerful place. Then you can create change, and you may just need to do that with something that is already existing. And once you've done that, once you've fixed it or changed it or created something new, your situation will be improved dramatically. So it's that kind of motivation, that's a sort of sudden shift that comes upon you. Now you know what you've got to do. But as I said, it could just be a mindset change. It can also be a physical appearance change. Perhaps you're really changing something about who you are, what you're presenting to the world at this time. So really, you could be, as I said, going in a completely different direction, and this may cause a few waves with people around you at this time. You've got Nementona, sacred space. Create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. So whatever is powerful for you. Nature is wonderful, wonderful, powerful place. Anywhere in nature, go into nature, spend time there, contemplate, meditate, do all of those activities, which is also governed by the 12th house, and connect with the divine, which is governed by Neptune, the card we had earlier. So you can create an altar or some sort of sacred space in your home. It can just be a table somewhere where you put things that are meaningful for you, things that are important for you, and that help you in your endeavor to live a meaningful life and to connect with the divine. It could be that you need to visit a place of power, whether this is a church or an historical place, or it could be just a place which has always got resonance for you and as resonant for you as a powerful place. Go there to absorb the codes that are emitted there, and that will help you to go through this change. You may go through a change and then know that you need to go to a place like this, or you could go to a place like this and this precipitates a change for you. So it could be a retreat or withdrawal. You could go to on an island retreat, or you could go to the sea for a swim with dolphins, whatever is appropriate for you. Go to a sacred space, create a sacred space for yourself. Additional to this, we had the 8th house, endings and beginnings. So certainly something is going to come in with the solar eclipse card. It's going to be quite major, and your 8th house is also going to be affected. So the 8th house is the house of sex, death, and rebirth, basically. Sex is everything to do with that, your sexual nature, but it can also be all sexual activities within a relationship. So this is a committed marriage normally, or a partnership of some kind. It can also be not sex related, it can be a business partnership. This is also about birth, as in the birthing of something. So this can be a physical birth, but it's also about the birthing of something. It can be the birth of knowledge, it can be the birth of an idea or something, or a business. It's also the rebirth. So this can be something that is coming out of something which has passed away or died or was finished or is seen to be over. So something could be regenerating or renewing. So this can be a relationship as well that is going through a regeneration or a renewal, or it could be the end of a relationship or a partnership and the beginning of something new. So the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. When death comes in with this house, it's not often a physical death. It's normally an ego death or a symbolic death. So something passes away to make room for something new. This house also covers all things financial, big finance. So this can be taxes, investments, insurances, accounting, banking. It can also be inheritances and legacies, which is connected to the death aspect. So possibly something is passing away, or someone, and you may inherit, or you want to create a legacy when you eventually leave the earth, a legacy for your people. So it depends on what phase you are in your life. All of that is covered by the 8th house. So possibly this is coming in connected in some way here, but it fell out, so then it must be relevant. Then we have the Goddess Guidance, Mother Mary, expect a miracle. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. So whatever you have prayed for, and certainly with the 12th house, you could have been doing a lot of that. But whatever prayer or whatever intention you sent out into the universe, whatever request you sent out, is always heard by the universe. What you have to do is not be attached to an outcome. So whatever the universe knows all and knows you and knows your path in life and can see all possibilities. So whatever you have prayed for, request it and then let it go, and let the universe bring you what is appropriate for you in the moment. It will cook up the perfect solution for you. It may not be what you expect, or what you had your mind set on. So that's why I say let go of outcomes. Rather just put your intention into what it is that you've requested, and then do everything you can to support that request, whatever that may be. Go to healing, go on a retreat, deal with energy drains around you, and doing things robotically, doing work, or being involved in a situation or a health issue, working with something that is not serving you currently, and you may have prayed about it, and Mother Mary is saying to expect a miracle, that an answer is coming to you. And then the astrological guidance at the bottom of the deck is Leo, I will. So very warm, very loving, very creative energy coming in for you. It governs the heart as well. So you may be, if you've got health issues, it may be heart related. But it's a very positive sign, this. It's a very loving, creative, playful sign. It's also about children. Children may be coming in for you, and certainly Hathor did bring that up. So it could also be that you're getting in touch with your inner child, and your inner child may have been wounded and in some past experience, and you're now dealing with that, which is certainly a 12th house issue. You could be dealing with an inner child issue. Your inner child has not been heard about something, and now you need to deal with it. And be receptive. Listen to what your inner self is saying to you. Listen to what your inner child is saying to you, and allow that inner child to speak to you. This can be very much about connecting with that, the playfulness and the loving and innocence of your inner child, and any child, in fact. So children very much in here. Creativity. You could be in the spotlight in some way, coming in for you. Something may come in for you, but it's a very creative, a very expansive energy. It's about confidence, it's about integrity, and it's about honor. And it can also be about pride, so be aware of that as well. You may be having pride issues, or somebody around you is exhibiting pride issues. So all of these may be coming up. But it's a very positive, very warm and loving symbol to have. And so aim for that. This is your sign. So this is, I think, a regeneration of your typical Leo self. And it could be a regeneration of that because you've had the 8th house. It could be a resurrection of some of your Leo qualities, which you have perhaps lost during the course of your life recently, and you're just regaining that. But it's listening to your inner child, being creative, do whatever you can to lift your creativity, something that you may have wanted to do in the past. It's about the arts as well, being on the stage, being in the media, or just enjoying activities around that. But it's certainly getting in touch with your playful side, your innocent self, and the regeneration of those lovely qualities. Then let's do a destiny card pull for you. There we go. Came out sincerity. Okay. So this can be as I said, with the Leo card coming in for you, this can certainly be a huge aspect, sincerity. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is you're aiming for, sincerity is going to be important. So I think this is comes in with the Neptune card, it comes in with the Leo card, and certainly with 12th house as well. So when you go within and you start doing the inner work, and you start to see your patterns of behavior, or the patterns of behavior in others, and you want to put your best foot forward, then sincerity comes in. And certainly with the Leo I will, this is about exhibiting the very best qualities of yourself, and that is your lovely Leo qualities. And so with that comes honor, integrity, and so on, and alongside that is sincerity. So whatever it is that you're trying to do here, always be aware, especially if there's gossip or scandal or upheavals going on. Aim for sincerity and you won't go wrong. You will be well received and people will respond to that. And that's going to be important for you to do these internal shifts and assist yourself to move forward, because there could be self-sabotage coming in here. And just be aware that sincerity will open doors for you. Okay, Leo, take care, and I will see you next time.